All right, we're live on the CMA live stream for Friday. We're kind of mapping out what we're going to talk about. On today's episode, we're going to talk about some of the perils of social media for young athletes. And it's not like what they're talking about on the news. We're going to talk about some of the real world costs of that stuff. And then we're going to talk about tryouts and setting the tone for tryouts. So that's what we got. I'm Brian.
Coach Mo.
All right, we'll get to y'all after the intro. Peace. All right, y'all, as always, we're taking questions. So if you have any questions or anything, just type them in the comments field and we will try to answer them on the live stream. We have links for the academy. We have links for tryouts tonight. If you see this and you like what we're doing, go ahead and give us a like so that we know that we're doing the right thing. And then share this with somebody that could benefit. No fluff live stream. We're going to get into the meat of the matter. This topic kind of came up because Mo and I were sitting here talking about how these kids are utilized in social media.
Yep.
What are some of the things that you've seen kids, the players do on social media?
Well, to piggyback kind of off of what we the podcast last week, we talked about some of the emotional stuff they do. I think look at our teenagers are more into, I think, is it Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. Piggyback off last week, is I'm upset because of what's going on in the moment, and I said I need to go post it. And that's probably the major thing we run into is emotional posts from kids. We've seen it with, it happens with NBA players.
Right.
Their guys are professional, they have a bad game, and they go right to the social media and they call out a person that doesn't matter, and they regret it right away.
Emotional posts, we're talking about just, I'm going to edit myself, crap posting. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Trying to say incendiary things, trying to get people to react, trolling, all that other stuff that goes on social media. And the pitfall of this is, and this is for the younger players, the stuff y'all put out there lives forever. The things you do in public live forever. Now we got cameras everywhere, and then social media is like a running log of your thoughts. You need to make sure that you are sharing thoughts that you'll be proud of when you're 27 years old instead of things that you think that are really funny at 14 years old.
Right.
Because it'd be a shame to get drugged all up and down the internet on signing day for something that you posted when you were 14 years old, and it has happened.
Right.
And I think some of y'all be playing too much with it and really tempting the fates with it and thinking it's something that it's not, where it's all good and fun and everybody's here to laugh at you, and you end up posting something crazy on social media and your friends like it, but then that gets archived.
Right. You gotta stop being stubborn. Like, you gotta stop being, some stuff's clear cut, we'll go over it in detail, but just don't. But then if you be stubborn, like what you said, think about down the road. I mean, there's prime examples we should have found out where athletes are about to sign a big contract, a coach is about to take a job, or you're about to get a promotion, and somebody's like, hey, 2017.
Right.
I didn't know you felt this way about X person. Like, oh, I was young and I forgot. Well, we told you not to.
Let's keep it buck. Even stuff that you think disappears, there's services out there. The Internet Archive, Wayback Machine, it stores pretty much everything.
Yep.
Everything that goes down is stored on there, whether you delete it or not. And they're finding out that sometimes on your iMessages, they don't disappear either. Right. Just because you delete them doesn't mean they go away.
Right.
And so you have to be real careful about what you're putting out there. It's not just for basketball players. It's not just for football players. It's pretty much for everybody. But this is specifically for y'all, because the social media aspect plays a role in how teams perceive you as you go through your high school career.
Yep.
Teams, people that don't know you, their first contact with you is on social media. They're going to see what you're posting. They're going to see what you like. They're going to see who you follow and what you share on your social media. And if you out here sharing garbage and talking crazy to folk, cussing people out, bunch of slurs and, N-word this, N-word that, they're gonna pull your card really fast. And y'all you play with it, And then when something goes down, oh no, the consequence of my actions. Who would have imagined?
Right.
Who would have imagined the consequences of my actions?
I'm still scared that my MySpace is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I put on it, but I'm so nervous. I'm gonna run for office one day, and they're be like, "Hey man, what was you doing that you were like, dang."
Like that Black Planet account coming back like a student loan or a bad memory, just showing up at your door like, "Yo,
you was tripping,
like,
back in the
wow,
days.
you was wilding, bro. What are you doing out here?" No, sorry, I was like 1999.
We all need forgiveness.
We got you, man. You on your favorite rapper's message board, spazzing out in the 90s, just saying whatever to whoever. You're on some rapper's message board, just saying whatever in the 90s, and then it just automatically gets yanked up in 2024. Right. So we're saying you have to be careful about what you put out and what you communicate online, because it's not private.
Right.
Anything you put online is public domain.
Right.
Even if you say it's private, even if you think it's private,
right.
It's not. And so the stuff you put on TikTok, the stuff you put on Instagram, the comments you say on Instagram, the comments you leave on I'm calling it Twitter. Mama named it Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. It's too stupid.
Hey, so X I recognize DMX.
Right.
That's what X I recognize.
But that's what we're talking about. And I know it feels like an outlet. It feels like a release. But I'm going to just tell you, you cannot make social media your online diary for your thoughts, because even I go back and I'll scroll through some, like, they have the history tab on Facebook. Man. I'm old. I use Facebook. You see a history tab on Facebook and you see posts that you made in 2008. You're like, oh, man.
Sometimes I feel like I didn't even go to college. Right? Yeah. I look back at myself like, what am I talking about?
Yeah, let me go ahead and delete. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one, because I don't want to see it anymore. I don't even want to see the stuff I wrote.
I'm embarrassing myself.
What I'm saying is, a lot of times young folk, y'all, now is not forever.
Right.
And if you're planning on an actual career in sports, in basketball, football, soccer, baseball, hell, I mean, even just going to college on an academic scholarship now.
Right.
You have to be aware of the footprint you're leaving behind, because there's going to be somebody that finds it. If they're interested, they're going to find it.
You're not as cool as you think you are.
Right.
When we were in school, you were cool if you had a certain pair of shoes, a certain outfit, your certain haircut. I remember everybody had flat tops, and then, this kid put a part in his, so he's cool. At that time, that was cool. Well, when it started getting negative is when people started doing that stuff, and then it was signified for something else. And then if you didn't have that, I'm going to make fun of you. I'm going to bully you. I'm going to do whatever. And that's what transitions to now. It's like, okay, so now you're mean to people. Now they're not doing what you do. That also comes back. Like, right. Not just silly stuff you say, it's making fun of people. Those are things there. So that's another part that comes back to you as well.
Let me throw this in here. There ain't nothing cool about doing the TikTok trend. Sorry, it's just
no.
It's by the time it's a trend on TikTok, it's played out already.
Yeah.
And so doing your version of the challenge on TikTok, it's unoriginal, it's hacky, it's played out. And some of y'all fall into doing the TikTok stuff, and some of it's harmless,
right.
Some of it's just goofy, some of it's fun, some of it is malicious and stupid.
Right.
And you're recording yourself doing something malicious and stupid that may or may not have legal consequences for you after the fact.
Right. Imagine being so talented at a sport, or so smart at, man, you're going to go be an engineer or something like that this affects you.
Yeah.
Like that affects you, and you knew you probably shouldn't do it.
Kid, bro, listen, imagine being defined by your worst moment.
Yeah.
That you're publicly sharing with billions. And make no mistake, there's potentially billions of people watching you. Now, will billions of people care about what you're doing? Probably not.
Right.
But you don't know who's going to see you doing what, saying what, or anything like that. I know that in the world, because my kids are onto the live streams and watching people on live streams doing X, Y, and Z. My kids are into, the Kai Sinet and all that.
Yeah.
Little bro getting more views in the Super Bowl on some of his live streams, right?
Right.
Being outrageous is their marketing. That's how they're marketing themselves. That's how they get eyeballs on what they're doing. Being outrageous. I think I think Kai was a little dude who got kicked out of the WNBA game for taking a ball and shooting on the rim during the game.
Right.
Those kind of antics.
Right.
He can get away, I hate to say it like that, but he can get away with that because that's his brand and that's his level of celebrity. Right. Eventually, you keep pressing those boundaries and then the boundaries press back on you and you're not ready for those consequences.
You even see that with popular comedians and actors and actresses were like, something like that was just funny, and then all of a sudden, Hollywood's like, we're done.
Right.
That's played out. Stop doing stuff.
Right.
You're not doing stuff. We need you to, if you want to take this next role and do the part 2 of this big movie you had 5 years ago, I need you to stop doing stuff.
Right.
Oh no, that's who I am. Cool. We're going to move on.
And that's what I'm saying. These kids, their brand is being outrageous and over the top. And a lot of kids are embodying that. They're copying it because they're like, well, they're over the top and they're getting a lot of attention online. Well, it makes money for them.
Yeah.
It all is doing is costing you opportunities because people think that you actually are like that. They're putting on a persona. They're putting on a mask to entertain an audience. Right. You on your personal social media, you ain't there yet. Until somebody gives you a check for what you're doing on social media, you're not there enough to put yourself out there like that in embarrassing, over the top situations and expect people are going to gravitate towards you. Do you want to be known as the person that just does stupid stunts and you're trying to build a resume as a basketball player who's going to be taken seriously? Right. And you're building a resume of just being goofy online and doing stupid stuff.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. So the actions have consequences. Now, for the parents' side of things, we're asking for y'all help.
Right.
Y'all need to monitor what your kids are doing on social media and what they're putting out there. You need to make sure that they're not on media sites, that they're not they don't have accounts on social media sites that they're not old enough for.
Right.
If they can't show you the video that they're doing or the video that they've posted, it probably shouldn't be out there.
An email or something we've done in the last 20 years, you're like, dang, I probably should have said that. I probably said that. But what we're saying is, since you know that, and we've already went through that, are you losing that? Are you good? I feel good. Your kids are doing the same thing, but they are teenagers like we were too.
Right.
So we need your help. They're still their brains are still trying to mature.
Right.
So you can't I heard you have a extra so-and-so page. I'm not going to look at it. Can I trust you?
No.
You got to look at it.
No.
Look at it. And
make sure it's how you want to be represented. Because especially if you're trying to have a serious basketball career, a serious football career, serious academic career, whatever public-facing thing that you're doing, you're going to want to make sure that you have some kind of controls over and have eyeballs on it and make sure it passes your approval first. And so the things that they're doing on there, you probably need to pay a little bit of attention to because people that aren't you are judging your kids' behaviors based on the way that they see them online. And so we're encouraging you to challenge your kids. So you're making a new post or you just pop in and check on their channel. Hey, see what's going on the channel. Yep. That video's not okay.
And it's probably pissing people off. So it's my turn. Now, I've been knowing this guy for more than half my life, since the mid-90s. And it's probably the only person I talk to every day. So when I was in high school and junior high and played sports, did music, blah, blah, hundreds of friends, right?
Right.
We had hundreds of friends. As you get older, you get mature, you move on. And it's not like you don't like those people anymore. It's not like you go in different directions.
Right.
So now all the hundred friends that I thought I was the comedian for, getting written up, going to in-school suspension for, doing detention after school because I wanted to show off, I don't even see those people anymore.
Right.
So, and like you said, in those moments where I could have just said, you know what, I got to calm down a little bit. I got myself in trouble, but I had to pull myself out because you may not see these people anymore. You gotta take a deep breath. This is funny for my junior class because I'm a junior.
Yeah.
In my science class at this moment, I may not see these people even next semester, let alone 10 years from now, let alone 20 years from now. And now somebody pulls it up because I could not stop being a clown and putting it out in public.
Well, and it goes back to stop trying to impress people that aren't going to matter to you in a year or two.
Right.
Whose opinion? Here's the thing. Don't try to. Stop trying to win the respect of people that you don't respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I like it.
Here's the thing for parents, y'all. And I'm talking to parents that are our age, right?
Yeah.
We're a little bit older.
Right.
We're a little bit older than a lot of the parents that are in our system. And so there's a generation gap. But I'm going to tell y'all this, especially the parents that are our age, older, with teenagers, the social media thing is real life for a lot of people. I grew up where social media, I was like in college before there was social media. Like we were joking about Black Planet, MySpace. That stuff came around when we were like in college, about to graduate and stuff. And so we have experience doing it and having profiles out there, but it wasn't anything that we came up with. We had message boards and stuff like that where people could slip into that escapism, but more or less we knew there was a hard line between what's the digital world and what's real life. These kids don't have a concept of where one ends and one begins. And I realize that very clearly, where my kids are having drama with their friends online, and I'm like, just block them and turn the phone off. Well, no, it doesn't end that, because I'll see them in real life. And so there's a where the two things are enmeshed, they're tied together. And so parents, even if it's not real to you, it's real to them.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure that you understand it's real to them and let them know that there are real world consequences for the things that they do.
Right. And it's almost too many outlets.
Right.
It's almost too many outlets where you think you cut a person off from one, then they're on the other two.
Yeah.
And the other three. This bullying now is, I may not have any idea this is happening.
Right.
And they're in your messenger on TikTok. And then you're in your messenger on Snapchat. And then they are somewhere else. But you thought you got one because you told your kid to cut off the one. Well, there's three more things that they have that's going on. And it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. So that's one thing you have to check.
Right.
Then you have to check. And there's different forms of it too. There's different forms. But listen, and I bring this up, there's bullying from adults.
Right.
2 kids. I have watched, and I won't bring it up, but this is concerning. I've had kids show me messenger from coaches.
Right.
That, are bullying them to do things that they shouldn't do. Like, I have one of my female athletes show me a messenger from a coach. I'm like, that's semi-bullying. You have the parents not involved.
Right.
There's not an attached email. That's something that should probably be brought up with your parents immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, that's what we do. That's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem. If you let it go, it builds. And that's what, Brian, we're talking about beginning. You can't let it go because it gets bigger.
It has to be monitored.
Yep.
If there's any secrecy with the social media account, then the kid doesn't need to have it. I'm going to just keep it real.
Yep.
And if you really want to crystallize how the real world crosses over into social media and the digital world, make your kid pay for their own V-Bucks. Make them pay for their own Roblox money. And you'll see real quick how fast they understand, oh, wait, the things I do online have real world consequences. That's an aside.
Yep.
It's real for them. And so you have to step in knowing that this virtual world, like we grew up watching The Matrix. Like Mo and I went to see The Matrix in theaters. It was the most amazing thing that we had ever seen in theaters up until that point where it ended up becoming like, wow, every movie became compared to that.
Yep.
And it was such this wild concept. Like there's this virtual world and it exists and it looks real. It doesn't, well, there have been virtual reality movies before, like The Lawnmower Man with the polygons and what was the other one with Denzel? Virtuosity.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself. I'm a nerd. Sorry, y'all. And so, it didn't look real, but The Matrix is like, wow, this looks real. And it was such a bizarre concept, but that's the world the kids are growing up in now, where they have an online persona that they invest a lot of time and energy into cultivating. And now with video technology, where you can record yourself and people can interact with you in real life, but they're actually interacting with you digitally, but it's also real life.
Right.
The lines get blurred so much that as the parent, you have to be the buffer that pulls them back from the brink when they're about to upload something that's embarrassing to you, your family, the grandparents. You have to be able to pull them back from the brink so that they don't do something that permanently embarrasses them.
Yeah, but that's the hard conversation you have with the kids because
Right.
they don't want to hear it. We're mean parents, we're strict. And the funny thing is, like, now I'm old school at the gym, the guy. I used to make fun of that dude. You know, I ain't wearing my socks awry or nothing like that. I feel pretty cool. I still get the trend, but I'm old school. So I hear these kids talking about, man, old school, man, it's different now. You know what I'm like? It's not different. It's not, the influences aren't different.
Here's the difference. So if I wanted to do something embarrassing in public in 1996, and I wanted to broadcast it to millions, it would require a news team there with a live broadcast camera and a satellite truck to broadcast, simulcast my embarrassing experience to the entire planet at the same time. Or I had to record something and send it to America's Funniest Home Videos. Those were the extremes. Now, you can do something embarrassing. You can destroy your entire career. You can destroy your potential college aspirations, your future jobs. And all it takes is this. It takes a phone. Instantly, your worst impulses are the tip of a finger away from being broadcast to billions of people. If I fell down the stairs and there's no cameras there, nobody saw it. But if I fall down the stairs and there happens to be a live stream camera there broadcasting to the entire planet, you just fall down the stairs.
Right.
Ring cameras. That's the most hilarious thing in the world to me. Because I've seen more people fall down the stairs and slip and fall on ice in the last 5 years than I've ever seen in my entire life.
And it's funny.
Right.
It actually is pretty
funny. And it's never not funny. That's the threat of this. That's the threat of the social media. You can end up hurting. These kids have the intention. It's like, you know, they have the ability to permanently hurt themselves publicly, socially, instantly. And it's crazy.
Well, look at Hollywood, right? When we were kids, and even now, like we're adults, you have your favorite actors and actresses. So when you see the movies, you go to the movies for that person. You're like, man, that's gonna be a good role. You back in the days, you never really thought about what they were outside of that movie.
Right.
Because you had no idea. There was nothing, unless somebody sat there, got on the radio, and there was 20 people sitting here and said, this who this person was. You're like, whoa.
We should all know less about each other.
Yes.
Because there are times where I'm sitting there like, wow.
Right. I like that person.
I didn't know he was that racist, yo. This is mind-blowing.
Right, because you loved that movie.
Right.
That was your favorite actor that you thought was great, and then you find out he's the most racist guy ever.
Right.
Or they were abused, or something was not right. Now, prime example, I like Will Smith's movies. We'll always bring up what happened with Chris Rock. No matter what. No matter if there's an apology, because somebody will always pull this up the rest of his life.
For the rest of his life, he gets probably the lowest career moment ever broadcast. And I have different opinions about the entire thing, but it was the worst moment of his life.
Yep.
And it was broadcast to millions, and it lives in infamy on the internet. It'll never leave.
Ever.
And I think people don't realize how destructive that is. It's amazing to see the fact that he has a blockbuster movie out now, so close to when this happened in proximity. And so it shows ability to kind of bounce back from it. It was a disaster. The handling of it, the way they handled it, the way it went down in the aftermath, it was kind of an absolute hot, shambling disaster.
Right.
And so, and it was instant. And the whole planet saw it at the same time. Stop, you know, we're taking it back to sports.
Yep.
You can go through. There's always some NBA player that's making an example. Always some NFL players making an example out of themselves by posting something embarrassing online. Nick Bosa Nick Bosa is one of them. They went back in time to get Patrick Mahomes' thoughts when he is 16 years old.
Right.
Who cares about what a 16-year-old Patrick Mahomes thinks? Social media does.
Right.
And they were going to hold it against him. You know, people scrutinize LeBron. I've always been a proponent of taking the phone out of LeBron's hands sometimes,
Right.
because it's not the best. Like KD is bad with it sometimes.
You almost have to give props in the athletic world to a person like LeBron, because he is the biggest name in the height of social media that is criticized or glorified for everything. He's right in the heart where everything is going on. Like, if we look at, like, okay, MJ's one of the GOATs, whatever, you know, we can argue, whatever, like that. You got Will and Kobe and all that stuff there, too. Kobe caught a lot of it. He caught a lot of it because it was right when it was getting hot on social media. He caught a lot of it went on in court. If Michael Jordan, the gambling, those kind of things there, if that was the everybody's good. You know how big that would have been right today?
Let's take it back to the cocaine era in the NBA, because that's something that did happen.
Thousands of people in each city was involved in it, and almost every athlete on the team, probably 8 out of 10 were involved.
Knew about it or were participating. And so what we're saying is this. We're saying the social media thing, even for stars that kind of grew up in the social media age, is very tenuous ground. Mm-hmm. And so if a 38-year-old professional who's been a professional since he's been for over 20 years, playing at a professional level as a public figure, if he has issues sometimes occasionally navigating social media and saying the right things,
right,
18-year-old don't know what the hell they doing out there. And so this is like a baby with a handgun. And so you have to take the gun out of their hand and make sure that they're not doing something that can hurt themselves, hurt others, hurt your family. There are people out there that are so miserable, all they do is just sit on social media and wait for somebody to screw up so they can drag them and jump onto it and embarrass them and make memes out of them. And we see some people's lowest moments in life turned into memes, or innocent stuff, just being normal and goofy on social media turns into embarrassing memes. And so it's really being cognizant of that. And so parents, you are empowered, especially, and it's for all parents, because I speak to all parents when I say this, but narrowly focused on basketball players. It is your responsibility to really help them navigate that. You need to enforce a little bit more control over what these kids are doing and saying online. We've had some ugly situations with kids that aren't on our team saying crazy stuff to kids that are on our team, making threats on social media, threatening gang stuff, you know, in the suburbs. The west side of Omaha, the gang activity out there. You're talking to North Omaha kids. Right. But we saw real stuff, real threats being thrown around behind basketball stuff.
Right.
Online. Get in your kids' social media and know what their behaviors are, because we do not want your kids, whether they're with us, whether they're training somewhere else, if we play against them, we don't want any kids getting caught up by broadcasting their worst moments and doing the stupidest crap online. And parents, there's lots of different social media apps that you can use to monitor their usage. But the reality is you're going to have to do an audit. Right. You're going to have to either follow them, or this is what I had to do when I was working juvenile probation, make a dummy account and follow your kids to see what they're up to on social media, because some of the stuff isn't beneficial to them. It's not beneficial to you. It's not beneficial to your family, but you need to keep eyeballs on it. I'm not saying you have to completely spy on your kids and lock their phones down. You do have to teach trust, but trust has to be earned. It can't be just given unilaterally. And so they have to earn your trust that they're doing stuff on social media that benefits them and stuff like that, and not embarrassing themselves or hurting their future opportunities.
That's why people have in professional PR teams.
Yes.
They have PR
teams. And a lot of times it's professional athletes, some of them even have social media managers that are posting stuff on their behalf.
Yeah, you're not really having a conversation with LeBron.
Sometimes you are.
Sometimes
but
you are,
most times you're not. It's like back in the day, a couple years ago, the most interesting Twitter account to follow was the Iron Sheik.
Oh, yeah.
From the old WWF.
Yep.
The Iron Sheik had an amazing Twitter account. It was not him.
Right.
His social media guy was a brilliant guy. He's a funny guy. Right. Same thing with the Wendy's account. It was a stand-up comedian, and she manages social media for people. Right. You're dealing with somebody's social media team sometimes, and the kids don't see the other side of it. My nephew wants to do the YouTube thing.
Yeah, yep.
There's the thing that's hard to explain because I had to explain it to my kids.
Right.
For these kiddie YouTube channels,
right.
There's a whole machine that runs underneath that with camera people and scripts and script approval, and parents are almost like directors and stuff. A lot of stuff goes on in the kitchen that you don't see when it's presented to you on the table.
We're just trying to help, like, as a business owner, as an athlete, you know, I'm not perfect. We're not saying we're perfect. We are at that level that we are hopefully mature enough that we can say, hey, we've learned from this, or this didn't go right. Oh, I regret this. Do it young so you don't regret it later. So, and parents, this might be a wake-up time for us too. Like, you know, if you are a parent, then we think about this other side is, if your mom and dad, you're posting stuff bad about the coach and about the tryouts and about, so like, that's on you too, because then that coach can be like, okay, well, Dad, I wonder who Coach so-and-so at so-and-so school, I'm not naming names, is who cut my kid. Right. Because he's at my school and I'm the head coach.
Make sure you're not the parent that's trying to threaten people to pull up and do all this other stuff on social media.
I can connect your kid with that school.
Right.
So you're pulling up on me. That's what you're saying.
And so it's being cognizant of your presence on social media and understanding that this isn't real, but it is very real. And understanding there is a balance. And every generation that we get removed from social media's creation is going to be harder and harder to maintain that line. Yeah. Because you can see stuff on social media that looks and sounds completely authentic, and it's completely made up. It's not real. And so
we need to talk about this. Have you ever texted somebody and they've taken it to left field immediately, like where you're like, whoa, I didn't know that. Think about if you post it, right? You talk about people lurking and ready to jump on it, and you post it, and you think about how people can take it. You know what I mean? That can go left field quick. So you got to be very careful. Just because you post, I don't like anybody that wears the color purple. That can be turned into 50 different things. You're like, whoa, I didn't mean it like that, but social media doesn't care. Yeah. You should probably think. So I always, before I post, I always figure, like, what is my purpose of making this post? Yeah. And who am I aiming at? I made a post about a general coaching thing, making sure coaches are understanding they have players for their school, when they play and things like that. Just general, because I've seen some coaches that don't know what AAU is. You know, they're new to it. They don't know what having a trainer is. I'm just helping them out. I'm 45 years old. I'm helping a 20-year-old coach out. You know what I'm saying? Like, too. Now, man, I didn't get calls and text messages and like how hateful I was. And I'm like, whoa, I did that as a general thing. But I'm like, you know what? To this group of people, that's what it looked like. Well, and this group of people, this would look like. We may know what it was, but this group of people wanted to aim at me. It was negative, and it wasn't.
Well, two things in that front. One of the most intense arguments I ever had with my wife was me misreading a text message. Yep. That's one. Two, there's a joke going around on Twitter, and I know some of y'all have seen it, where you make a statement. I like pancakes. Right. And somebody's going to jump on. What do you mean you hate waffles? You a waffle hater, man. Right. What you mean? So you insulting all the people that like waffles? No, I just said I like pancakes. I didn't say anything about waffles at all. No, man, you insulting the waffle nation, bro. We ain't riding for that. We don't abide by that at all. We're gonna see you at Waffle House. So be aware of. You know, a lot of times people are waiting to misinterpret your message. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got Robin. What's up, Robin?
What's up, Robin?
Follow and check and do a random check-in on all accounts. That's what you need to do. Right. Just do your own audit of your kid's social media activity and make sure that it's on the up and up. Because the other side is, and we're not getting into it, but both Mo and I have worked with abused and neglected kids. horrible stuff that goes on social media involving children and that College World Series, you need to be cognizant and aware of that.
A lot of cases connected to that when I was working at Point. A lot of cases.
You guys would be shocked and embarrassed, and you'd be looking at a lot of people that you've seen in esteem sideways.
Yep.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's really bad. So what we're saying is check in. Just make sure that you're paying attention to the stuff that's going on. There's always going to be somebody out there to misinterpret you. The argument I got on Twitter, bro, because this is one that I try to stay out of stuff, but this one actually did low-key bother me.
Right.
The entire dialogue about Simone Biles and her husband.
Oh, man.
The entire ongoing thing, because imagine this, a young athlete who's focused on his career and doesn't really watch Olympics, didn't know her entire resume, and he became public enemy number one in a subgroup on Twitter, and it ended up turning into Twitter bullying this kid to the point where Simone said, hey, stop talking crazy about my husband.
Right.
And people got mad at her about it.
Right.
That's the social media streets that you're dealing with. People are looking, are running around, bumping into each other, praying for a reaction, and so they're looking for something to react to.
And here, here's the other side. What do I use the social media for? I don't think you athletes use it not only the right way. I don't think you put enough effort into using it for what you need to get done.
Yeah.
If you really, really, and this is a personal thing, even internally, there's a personal thing with some of our athletes I've been connected to. If you're using it for, I say, BS, in there too, then expect some BS to come out of it.
Right.
But if you're like, you have all this time, you want to go to college, you're a senior, you're a junior, make some proper mixtapes.
Show your work.
Show your work. Get your stats. Pull up your match prep stuff. Post that. Show them you're doing community work. Show them where you're helping out at the old folks home. Show them where you're helping out at a shelter. You can do that just as fast as making a TikTok dance.
Yeah.
Those are funny. They're funny. But that's not good. I've never heard a coach from a T1 school say, man, you know, I picked that kid. Like, why? He was the best TikTok dancer I ever seen. Like, no, he's like, oh, I didn't know that you did community work. Great job using your social media for that. Oh, you're a 4.0 student? I would have never known, because based on what you posted last year, but you're doing this extra stuff, I didn't know you were a good student.
You can show aspects of it where people can say, oh, this kid's charismatic, they're funny, but they're also serious workers. Show your workout, show what you're doing, show highlights from the game, show you talking about basketball, show your routine before a game.
Why is
show
it
that you're
embarrassing?
taking it seriously.
Right. Why is it embarrassing to show your workout? Why is it embarrassing to show your grade? That will help. Oh, my ACT, I got a perfect ACT, Joe. I don't want to show that. Who are you trying to be so cool for that you don't want to show that stuff?
Right.
The other stuff is not fun. It's funny for the 3 kids that you made it for in the moment.
Right.
Not funny for the 20 colleges that possibly wanted you to be their starting point guard.
Well, the social media thing, because we talk about it, one of my favorite channels is the RDC World Kids.
Yeah.
They're funny.
Yeah.
When they make a video, that is their business.
Yes.
So they're having fun. They're enjoying their time doing it. But they're using social media as a tool to promote what they're doing. And so a lot of athletes misuse it, because here's the thing. If there's something that exists and it doesn't necessarily give you anything, you're the product.
Right.
Your videos are the product. Are you going to utilize it to promote yourself, to show potential coaches, colleges, recruiters that you're a serious-minded athlete? You're a serious-minded young volleyball player.
Right.
You're showing them the kind of work you're putting in. You're a serious basketball player. You're a serious soccer player. You're a serious football player. In addition to being a kid that has a great personality and has fun.
Right.
Show your work. Show your training. Don't just become the product. Show these people that are invested in you, that may be invested in you, who you are and what you're capable of. And a lot of times People misuse social media, especially when they are already public figures. When you are a young athlete, you are already a public figure.
Right.
It's only a matter of degree. You may be at a small school, but you have people watching and following what you do every single day. You may not be aware of it. Make sure your social media account isn't just a bunch of crap posts and slurs and insults, and just show who you are, show all aspects of who you are, so you can show them the best version of you.
There's probably a bunch of haters. In life, somebody's always waiting for your downfall.
Right.
Even if it's one person, they're waiting for your downfall. And you got to understand, they're waiting for that moment. They're waiting for that moment of weakness, that moment of you to get emotionally charged up, the moment of you to do some clown stuff, to post it.
Yeah.
And boom, they got you.
Now they got you. They got something to point to. Right now, we're talking about how young athletes need to manage their social media. And if they don't manage their social media, the social media will absolutely manage you. Because at the end of the day, the social media platforms, they get paid off of views, eyeballs, and they sell ad time just like television. So the more people that are watching, the more money that they can reasonably make from advertisers. So
right.
Make sure that they're not just putting out content that can hurt them in the future as parents. Make sure that they're not putting out content that could come back and bite them, because at the end of the day, the social media platforms do not care what eyeballs or attention are on them, because it's just ad time that they can sell.
Right. I like this. So I like the word energy.
Yeah.
So I like the word energy, and energy can be used negative and positive. On the flip side, we'll go, what are you using your energy for with this? So if I want to show that I am a different kind of athlete, a different kind of person, my energy has to be set up where my day and my time I spend on social media is not only making me a marketable athlete, a marketable student, a marketable human being, or normal human being, but it's structured. It's structured. If I have a 4-hour gap during my day, and it's my day off from lifting weights and those kind of things there, I still don't have the offers I need. I still don't have the. Maybe I'm using social media time to reach out to a coach, and I'm making a video. I'm making a 1-minute video. There's apps for everything. I'm making an app on, this is how I shoot. This is what I do with my down talk. This is how I make my nutrition.
Yep.
This is how I do my meals. Use that time, and that's, for that. So now I have this thing where, I didn't know they had that side of it. I didn't know they could cook. I didn't know they could do like that too. I now have filled in that
I have a better sense of who this kid is.
Yeah.
We got another comment. Stephanie Granger.
What's up, Steph?
And Snapchat is not a safe place.
Oh, no.
Just because they say the video is deleted doesn't mean it's deleted. If it's going to a server, it's stored somewhere. I need y'all to realize that. And if it's stored somewhere, it can be accessed. It doesn't delete. It doesn't self-destruct. It's not safe in terms of the people that are on there, and it's not safe in terms of your privacy or protecting you from videos that you don't want other people to see. Snapchat is not safe. It's just like every other social media company.
If you send something and they feel that they are offended, we can't control how they react and their emotions. So if you're even putting things that trigger, reactions or trigger like that too, just know it only takes one person to post something back, and it's a firestorm.
Right.
It's a firestorm, and you probably shouldn't do it. Now, we're not asking you guys to be perfect. Eliminate some of the stuff, mature every year, mature every month,
right,
to a point where you're like, Dave Chappelle. If you listen to when Dave Chappelle actually talks about real stuff, he's a very, very serious dude. Like, he knows a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. He's actually very interesting, because when he's talking like that too.
Yeah.
He separates comedy from real life. And so you can be that fun kid in class as long as you don't cuss the teacher out.
Or you're not distracting
the class. Like, if the teacher is saying, if she's joking, he's joking, it's fun, and at the time it's an appropriate response, it's not bad like too, good, get your laugh, get back to work, then get back in. I got a lot of respect in high school from teachers, because I was that dude. I was a comedian, funny or something there, but I knew when to pull it back. But someone like, you know what? She stopped smiling. The assignments on the board, time to pull it back. Now these kids, I literally see some of them Snapchatting or posting pictures of their teacher in class. This teacher is trash.
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, it's, you just pointed a camera at that teacher's trash. That's why you got in trouble.
Yeah, you got in trouble. You can't just record people against their will in private places. It's not even necessarily a public building, and they have specific rules about where you can record and things like that. But it's not cool just to record strangers and upload them to your social media as your personal gag reel. That is not cool.
Do we have waivers for our program? Has waivers.
Yeah.
And I asked. So I have athletes that are overseas, D1, D2, coming out of high school.
We check in.
I'll like, is it okay? You know, Is it okay? I don't want. I see pictures of me everywhere. I take pictures of kids, but I'm okay with that. But sometimes, you know, you get that one picture, you're like, dang, I wish they would have checked with me. I'm sitting there eating a big old thing of pizza and lean back. I got the shirt I didn't want on. I'm like, dang, man, delete that picture real quick, bro. You know, and it's kind of funny, but we're like, even we get a little bothered. We're okay with it. Like, hey, man, don't post that. And it's funny, but there are people like, you can't record me. Mm-hmm. You can't take a picture. You did not give my permission. And then most of the time, it's kids recording teachers and their other friends. And then once the friends report it, oh, I can't believe I was just joking, take a shit. But to that person, that wasn't a joke. To that person, they had a rough week at school. They've been getting trouble. The grades were, something's wrong, and you were the trigger. You were the last thing that made it bad. You thought it was a joke. To them, it's not.
I'll throw it out here. Something I heard when I was younger. And it kind of informed how I operate, is try not to burden others with your stupidity.
Yep.
You know, it's okay to not be aware of something or not understand an entire thing. Sometimes I'm stupid in some things, but I try to really make a strong effort to not handcuff others with my stupidity or my bad behavior or whatever. And so it does make sense that you need to make sure that your behaviors affect other people. And the way that you act and the things you participate in, especially when it comes to social media, the social media element, you impact other people. There's been a lot of cases where somebody was recorded without their consent and they did something stupid and ended up becoming something that hounded them for the rest of their life. And that's how they became known. You don't want to be the person that put somebody out there like that. And you don't want to be put out there like that yourself. Athletes. Your social media, it can be your PR team to get you to the goals that you want to achieve. Show your work. Show that there's more to you than TikTok dances. You can still do those. But you need to show that you're able to take workout seriously and you train seriously.
Do you think kids realize, I don't think they realize how big the world is. How big the world is, even in the United States. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, I don't think you understand, like, just because you're like, I got a few followers here, a few people know me, like, there's lots of colleges out there. Like, if you really want to go, and they don't know who you are. So, like, if you're using the time the right way, you might get 10 to 15 colleges that had no idea who you are, and you doing something positive now. And now they're calling you about doing a visit or something like that, too. You guys stop putting yourself in this box. You know, your group of 5 people. Look, I had a lot of friends in high school. I don't know where half of them are at. I lost a friend last week. They went to school with me and the original friend. Time goes, and we don't know what happens to people. We're about people, so I don't know. I just know the 5 people at that time, it was pretty funny for a week or two when I did that one trend or that one joke in 1993. In 1993. I haven't seen some of those people since I graduated in 1997. If I asked them now, if I came up to them, they might not remember the funny joke I told back then. What if at that moment or that week, I did something so detrimental in that moment, I couldn't be Coach Mo right now. So I tell kids, at 14, where will you be in 10 years? I'll be 24. What do you want to be known at 24? Where do you want to be at? Oh, I'm 13. Where do you want to be at 23? In 10 years, what do you think what it looks like? I want to be in the league. I want to be doing this like that too. Your grades aren't there. Your behaviors aren't there. But what do you mean they're not? Did you take the ACT yet? Well, no. I'm like, so there's things you have to step before you get there. Think about how you're going to look in 10 years. Think about in 20 years. Do you want to be a parent? Do you want to be a big brother, sister? Do you want to be a good aunt or uncle?
All right, we got another comment from Stephanie. Also, remember to try to think ahead. These kids forget that they want to be famous. This stuff will come up when they become public figures.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what we've been saying.
Yep.
It will come back like old Bill or, a social media account from the dark ages. Somebody pulls up your MySpace and like, hey, man, looks like you was on something different on the MySpace days, man. And I'm a screenshot and post it to everybody that you know. Yeah. This stuff comes back to haunt you.
Not everybody loves you. And we have to figure that even as adults, you think you're doing it like, we'll text each other, email each other, be 2, 3 in the morning, like, Dad, I got an idea. And we're working hard. I mean, you know what program it is. We do. But there's always going to be 1 or 2 people that don't got a program. And you feel a certain way. But there is somebody that may not like you.
Right.
And it's okay. But we're trying to do what it is. So just think, even if you think everything you're doing is funny or it's cool, there's one person that it may not be cool or funny to. Right. And if they publicly say something about it, they didn't like it. And it's okay. Right. It's okay. And you got to expect that. Like, when I post this, is it going to be detrimental, or is it somewhere it might rub somebody the wrong way? Because that's another thing.
Am I going to be able to stand on my square when I'm confronted with this?
Right. So we have different sports teams and people we like and wrestlers. Who's 2 of your favorite all-time wrestlers?
Bret Hart was one of my dudes.
Right. And I like Shawn Michaels.
And Macho Man Randy Savage was another one of my dudes.
Yeah. And so I like Macho Man. So I like Shawn Michaels and Macho Man. He might not like Shawn Michaels, but he's a great wrestler. It's funny. Yeah. I can stand up if there's 20 people that ask me why and have a conversation why I think this, he's a technical wrestler, blah, blah, blah. I like to entertain, blah, blah, blah. But if you put something that's so offensive
right,
that you can't stand on, and you're like, I'm going to explain those 5 things you meant right there. Oh, I didn't think anybody's going to get that, Mike. That's a problem. We can talk about sports all day. We can talk about your favorite car all day, because we can stand on there and talk an hour why we think that and find out facts. If you just put something that was emotional, and again, coach cut me, I don't like him, he's trash, blah, blah, blah. What if that coach gets on your post and says, how would you tell me how much trash I am? Oh.
Well, here's the other side. What about the other coach that you want to try out for the other school, and the other coach done read about how you talked about the previous coach?
Right.
Actions have consequences. That's the bottom line of what we're saying. Actions have consequences. Right. And we talk about this being a big world. We get approached by people, like we'll play tournaments in Sioux City. This is where we've been all summer.
Right.
We get people in Sioux City coming up to Coach Mo and talking about the podcast. And so the world is a big place. And so people are always watching you. There's always somebody watching you. Oh. We're still taking questions about how what tips we have for parents of young athletes in navigating social media pitfalls. So we're still taking questions and comments on it, but we do need to pivot because we do have our tryouts tonight. And so we wanted to discuss tryouts, but it's not just tryouts. It's setting the tone.
Yeah, so we're going to have tryouts tonight for kids that are going into 3rd through 8th. We're going to have expectations at the beginning. The expectations of what our program wants, what we want, like a standard that we're going to set. At the beginning, we're going to talk about our speed and agility program. We're going to talk about our basketball academy, how many days that we want you there, because it does make a difference when we see kids. And what we notice is the kids we don't see aren't super successful with their growth in not only our program as an athlete. So if you're in a program and you don't practice at all or come to academy, don't do anything for 7 days a week, we have no idea what you're doing. Second of all, it shows when you get out in the court. And we've seen it this weekend. Mm-hmm. We see it every weekend for the 1 or 2 that's like, I'm going to do it on my own. I'm not going to do anything structured. I'm just going to do whatever. It's a constant struggle to learn and develop.
Yeah.
And they stand out in a negative way.
We're going to spend a little bit of time on this with the expectations, because it's something that we had discussed prior to this.
Right.
And this kind of goes to our kids that are here with us now, but here's the baseline. Things, it's gonna feel a little bit different, because now we're heading into the year. We're getting ready for the year. Now we're structuring a little bit, and so we have high expectations of you, because we have high expectations for you.
Right.
We expect you to accomplish great things, but we expect y'all to do great things. It's really locking in, because there's a lot of times the coaches have to tell you lock in, lock in, lock in. And so we're setting the tone with the expectations up front. We expect that athletes that are on our teams are active participants in Basketball Academy in all the programs. We're going to expect for the first month, you show up to speed and agility night at Basketball Academy when the season starts. So because that's where
we're going to build it in. Like,
that's where you get your conditioning. That's where you get your footwork.
You're going to do stuff with basketball, and then you're going to do the footwork, but you're not leaving. It's
part of what you're going to get. It's kind of a comprehensive program to build the players that we want, because at the end of the day, our goal is for you to make the junior high team. And so our output is putting out a player that can make any junior high team in the city.
Right.
That's what our goal is. That's what Basketball Academy is about. That's what we're really focusing on doing. And so we really want to create an environment where we're creating better players. And so girls, boys, whatever, we want you to come in focused and understanding. Tonight's just going to be the trial for the boys. Coach Jeremy is going to be figuring out what it looks like for the girls. But you come in understanding we're looking for commitment. We're looking for somebody that's going to commit to getting better, commit to growing through the program, and committing to being a better player.
We're not begging players. We want players that want to be in our program or be attached to the program and commit to what we want to do. That's not saying we don't want new players, not saying we want different players. We just like the players that are locked in, dude, because the ones that lock in and follow the program, the programs work. The programs work. We can interview 20, 30 kids, and they'll say, hey, I did A, B, and C, and it worked. I am starting varsity at my school. I made my middle school team. I used to come to something, and in the summer, I come back, and I still do whatever. It's proven. So if something's proven, we don't feel like we have to keep going backwards and making one person believe when there's hundreds that have believed, and the results are there.
Early afternoons, I get done with my meetings. I come in here and get some work done. Coach Mo has college players in here. They come back and train with Coach Mo. After Daytime Academy, a couple of college players come in. I'm telling you that these are kids, that have already progressed through high school and are on that pathway. Some of these kids are closer to the NBA than anybody that you're going to know. And they come and train, and they come and work, and they take it seriously. They lock in. And that's what we're trying to get our kids to be. The difference, the Basketball Academy difference is you're not just getting a team. The expectation is academy training that goes along with the team. The academy training is 2 times a week. For the first month, we're going to have that extra day where it's speed and agility, and then it becomes optional after that. Most of our kids that do our speed and agility, they opt in, and they want to be here after it. So when it's not optional, they still make it mandatory for themselves. But the speed, agility, and conditioning, eventually we're going to put the strength component in there. That's been the elusive piece, but we're going to get it in there. But for the first month, lock in for 2 Basketball Academy sessions, speed and agility, and then whatever your individual coach has planned, which is normally 1 practice a week. And this program's designed to make better players. It's created better players. We have plenty of examples of better players. We've got an entire high school lineups that feature our kids in this city. We've got junior highs that have been taken over by CMA kids. Okay? We're not just bragging on it. This is what our program's created.
Well, I do want to brag on the kids. You guys have done a great job. Some of you guys, honestly, be proud of what you've accomplished. Tag yourself, hit it up. Thanks, coach, or coach, I'm locked in. Just tag yourself in this video and talk about a memory you have, or you're one of the kids that does come back. Your college guys tell me, I do come back. We want to be better. We're the ones that want to sit in the crowd and say, man, that kid worked really hard, and that's why they're here. They remember their program. It's always 1 or 2, and it's okay because this is business, right? It's always 1 or 2 that feels like, I don't need this, and we don't want that mentality. We don't I can do half the academy. I can kind of do the academy. if you don't really want to do it, it's okay. No one's holding you hostage. We don't have contracts. We want people that are going to be like, you know what? If I do this, I'm getting better each time.
Yeah, if you're going to
stick with it and you wear our stuff, I'm getting better each month. Not 6 months. Now it's a year. I'm a pretty good player now.
Yeah, you have to be committed to showing up to academy. Now, for our current kids that are watching and current parents that are watching, we absolutely love y'all. We appreciate all the support. I'm putting this out there just so that it's not taking any of the kids by surprise. It's going to look different in fall.
Yep. In a good way.
Because it's going to be more focused on developing you, and you're actually going to have high school level expectations so that you're ready to rise up and meet the level that you need to be at.
Right.
And when you walk into ninth grade, you know that you're coming in ready, armed, ready to make the team. So it's going to look a little bit different in fall. It's going to be, it's going to be lock-in time.
Yep.
It's time to take it serious. Summer is summer.
Right.
Mo and I were talking about some things in the building that we need to address.
Right.
And we'll be addressing those with individual groups. But summer's summer, and so summer's a little bit looser. Season is lock-in time. This is where we are starting the process of building you into the players that you're going to be.
Right.
But if you're not with that, if you're not invested in the idea of, I want to become a better player, there are programs out there where they'll just hand you a ball and put you on a team.
Right.
And hand you a schedule, and you show up once a week for practice. And if you're cutting up on the sidelines, if you're a distraction in practice, they'll just sit you at the end of the bench. And they'll forget that you exist.
Look, we're past the point where we know some of y'all run from smoke.
Yeah.
So we run from smoke. We know the program hopper. Some program hopper, some do good reasons. Like, like if you're going up to play for a national team, like cool, man, you're trying to level up. But we know the program hoppers, so we're not gonna waste minutes on that. We're talking about the ones that, you held me accountable for actually showing up and doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't like that.
This.
I'm out.
All
okay.
Right, peace. For our really active teams, we do try to mind the schedule so that we're not overloading kids and overworking kids. And that's a component that, it's going to be a lot. We're working on the structure piece of it. So when we have a weekend off, it's a weekend off.
Yeah.
You can take your time and relax and chill and let their bodies recover and sleep and eat.
And communicate. Like, if you feel like, yeah, man, I even if you need it a little bit earlier, like I have one to play those games, communicate with the coach. And we're going to put that stuff in. Communicate. Just let them know. Like,
let me throw this out here. If you feel like you want the extra work and you need the extra reps, we're available. Just say, book a time, come in and get the extra work in. But don't feel like you have to load up your weekend with a bajillion games of varying quality and then wonder why there's all these use injuries and your kids hurting, limping around. It's because they haven't taken the time to recover.
We have an elementary group that goes at 9 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then 12 o'clock on Wednesday. And we have a middle school group that is at 10 o'clock and then 1 o'clock on those days. If the daytime works while they're out of school right now, you can sign up. There's a link to sign up and do that, and we can fill that up and then have the rest of the night. Yeah. But there's something you can do.
One-off sessions are $75 an hour.
Yeah.
You can come in and get the extra work. What we're saying is, don't feel like you have to be on 1,000 different teams just to get more and more and more reps. We can give you the reps here, but for the kids that are in our basketball academy program, we're structuring it so that we're not putting way too much wear and tear on these kids' bodies. Mo and I have talked to experts in the field. They're sounding the alarms about overuse for these kids. And so just because we're not playing a tournament doesn't mean that they need to go off and play a tournament somewhere else. That means that let them chill, let them relax for a weekend. If they want to pick up the basketball and go outside and shoot, that's fine too.
Right.
If you feel like they need extra work, contact us. We can set up some time, come in and get that extra work to do focused work on the areas they need to develop and not just be out here in a game. Because here's the thing. I love our coaches.
Yep.
Our coaches are amazing and great, and they have a good rapport with our kids.
Right.
They also have a knowledge of use on kids and how much they've been utilizing this kid to do this and X, Y, and Z. And they have a balance of understanding okay, this is about learning. These are learning opportunities and not just winning medals and trophies. The thing is,
yes,
not every coach is on that. Some coaches will just put your kid out there and run them into the ground because it's going to get them a trophy and get them a medal. And they'll beat the kid up to get a medal and trophy, and the kid doesn't really get anything out of it besides sore knees, sore ankles, sore elbows, sore back, headaches, tired all the time. Be mindful of this stuff.
You think we know what our kids want sometimes too, but you can almost I can watch the kid, and this is me in the field.
Yeah.
I know the kids working down like, you're doing too much. Like when a kid that can normally get on the ground for stuff and get out there and they can't even move, I'm like, too much. You're doing too much. You know what I mean?
Coach Mo, you have an athlete on the way that is college bound.
Yep.
Have you given them weekends off? Tell them, hey, shut it down for the weekend.
Oh, I've got walking here and they can barely move their hips because they're like, oh man, I did an open run, I did some powerlifting, and then I did another open run, and I'm like, why are you here? You know, it's like, I also need that work. Well, your legs can't move right now, so why would we do bands?
Yeah.
You can't effectively do band training for 100%. You're gonna hurt yourself.
And we have a vested interest in putting out the best basketball product out there. But we also have a vested interest in putting out the best players out there. And the best players cannot be beat up because we are doing too much. So sometimes, parents, I'm just telling y'all, sometimes if we don't have something planned for the weekend,
Right.
and it's just speed and agility, it's okay to miss a session here or there. It's okay to take a weekend off.
Yep.
You know, and let the kid heal.
And don't make it about you.
Yeah.
The parent makes you like, well, why did we, why are we playing in this tournament? Or why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we playing 5 to 6 tournaments? Well, that tournament has 4 games, and the teams we're playing are, that's all they do. That's all they do. They play 185 games a year.
And they don't train. They don't work out.
And they put a bunch of kids in, and they knock the kids down, and it's a wrestle fest.
And when one kid gets hurt, they go and recruit a kid from another team, plug him in your place, and that kid just stays injured.
Yeah, and we're not hating the program, but that's how they do. But
that's their business model, y'all.
We're trying to tell you, like, your kid. Well, and I don't know if people would like to really taught their kid. Sometimes kids will tell you, "He's my kids." My kids will tell, Uncle Brian something, that I might not have known. Like, oh, I didn't know your ankle was still hurting 2 weeks ago. Like, cause they didn't want to tell the main coach because they're like, my plant's already cut. Like, your ankle hurts. It's okay. You rolled your ankle in a game. You're in 4th grade. You're not going to lose playing time with us because you need to take a break.
Right.
Because your ankle, it doesn't heal overnight, if you don't take care of it properly. So like, it's okay, but there are programs that are like, next 5 up.
Next.
Oh, you're hurt. You're in.
The real spill is, and I got to be honest with you because I'm about to jump into some business stuff because that's my role in this. The real spill is, for a lot of teams, their business model is teams. They want to get a lot of organizations, their business model is built on teams. They need to get as many teams on the court playing as they possibly can every month.
Yep.
Every day, they're trying to maximize the amount of kids that are playing. Because the more teams they have, the more kids they have. It's a capacity game.
Yep.
They're trying to get as many people in this building as possible. And it's not about the training aspect of it. They offer training and you can pay up for the training. And you can get good training there. But that's not the core offering. The core offering is I get to play on a basketball team. Our business model is we will train your kid to be a better player. And we have teams to help further that training.
Right.
And so with us, we recruit kids to our basketball academy program to develop. We don't recruit them to the teams.
Right.
We are a training program. We use the teams to further the training. That is our business model. And so we drive kids to training. Our outcomes are these kids better than they were 3 months ago. That's what our outcomes are. Our outcomes are not, how many people do we have? How many teams do we have?
Right.
How many kids do we have on all this different stuff? Okay. So that's the reality of it. That's what our business model is. And so I have to give the real spill about that, because I feel like I do have to emphasize that, because that's something we're constantly saying. So if you're coming to us just wanting a team to play on, that's great. Can you commit to basketball academy here, speed and agility here? Yes. Come on in. Are you aligned with do you want your kid to be a better player? Yes. Bring them in. Do you want your kid to make the 8th grade team? Yes. Bring them in. If I like winning trophies and holding up medals and taking pictures,
somewhere else.
there are other places for you. That's not what our goal is.
Right.
And I know it makes people feel good to win trophies and medals, but that can't be our goal, because that's not what we're trying to create. Trophies and medals are great if they mean that they're hard fought, but I will take a hard fought 3rd place over an easy cakewalk 1st place any day of the week for our kids, because it's about making them better players.
The best development season I had for my current seniors that were on my team was a season where they went up, way up.
Yeah.
And they got smacked a few times. Like, not only they lost bad a few times. They're like, whoa, like there's, wow. So now we're going to go back and play them again in a month.
Right.
And now it's a 10-point loss. And we're playing again another month. And now we're tying them. Now we're playing again. Now we're winning.
Right.
Not winning, or it's back. It's always a close game. That's development.
Right.
That's development. Because then guess what? We were on this team, but you go to this high school. I go to this high school. You know how to lead, and I know how to lead. So, like, they're like, man, they're spread out over the city. Coach Mo put out 10 different leaders on that team.
Right.
They had 10 different schools, and all 10 of them have different roles, but they're there. That's our goal. Like, we want to hear that. Like, man, all y'all made it, and they said you were a leader. That's dope. I'm proud of you.
And that's what we're talking about. Tryouts tonight. Lock in. Come take it seriously, y'all. Don't come in here with no foolishness, because it'll get called out, and you'll get pulled out of a drill. And we're kind of determining roster orders, what teams people are going to be on and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot that's in these tryouts, because it's shaping our year. And so we're going to come in really setting a tone here.
We'll put in here on how to sign up. Get there earlier, though. Like, we'll be setting up about 5:30. So don't get there at 6 and you didn't sign up in there by, because if you're seriously confused, go to the website and look at the link, and you just click on it, and it's sign up for a tryout.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't not show up. Come out tonight.
So, but yeah, we're setting the tone just so that you guys know what the season's about. So it's no surprises either way. We are wanting kids that are committed. We've had great comments. We're looking for more questions next time. So we have to figure out what the live stream is. I don't even know is it next week? Golly, next week? It's going to be July, bro.
I know.
So,
one thing I say in part for me is AAU starts back. So we're back into the second half of AAU ball. I'm actually flying out with my oldest and his team next week. Be ready. 17 U's. This 99% of y'all, this is y'all last summer. Mm-hmm. Be ready. Be ready to play. Everything you learn with school ball, take this week to relax your body, and be ready to work. Everybody's watching. Stop getting technical fouls. Hustle back on defense. Stop talking back to the refs. Let the coaches do that. I tell you, people know me. I wear the refs out. I love y'all refs. I wear y'all out. But guess what? I'm trying to do it for the right reason. Let me do that. You go out and play. Focus on your social media. Now that you have some jewels here, go download an app to go get your highlights ready for positive things to go to college. Be ready next week to get a camera set up, have your mom, dad, grandma, aunt, uncle get some clips of you, do something positive with the social media.
Record yourself working.
Yep, it's time to do that. Be ready to go. It starts in July. You're back at it.
All right. So you guys heard it from Coach. You got your instructions.
Right.
You've gotten the mission. You choose to accept it.
Right.
It's time to handle business. It's time to lock in. Spring or summer ball's ending here. July is pretty much the end of summer ball, and we're back into the regular swing of things with the regular year. So we're looking forward to a good season. This season is lock-in season. To our boys, to our 8th grade boys, stop tickling each other.
Dude,
Stop touching each other. Stop
Please
wrestling each other. Stop snatching stuff out of each other's hands. Don't bring no Orbeez blasters up in here. Don't bring water guns up in here. And stop stealing our snacks. I'm dead serious.
Right.
It's not going. The hammer's gonna drop, and y'all ain't gonna like it. All right. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's it, man.
So, we'll see you hopefully next week.
Yep.
Brian,
Coach Mo.
we'll talk to y'all later.
All right, peace.